Welcome problem solving fans to another problem of the day, and this one is all about dividing a large square into smaller squares, and we've got what fraction of the shape is shaded. Now there's a right way and a wrong way of doing this, so let's look at the wrong way first. The wrong thing that some people might do is to count the number of squares that we've got. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares all together, so they could say it's out of 7, and obviously we've got 1, 2, 3 squares shaded, so they could say that it is 3 out of 7. But the problem we've got with this is that not all squares are the same size. Obviously we've got 3 bigger squares and 4 smaller squares, so the incorrect answer is 3/7. Now for the correct way. Well, the problem we've got is that all the squares are different sizes, but why don't we just make some extra lines to make all the squares the same size? So obviously this square in the top corner here has been split into 4 smaller squares. Well, why don't we just do that with a square underneath? Split it into 4 smaller squares, split this square into 4 smaller squares, split this square into 4 smaller squares. Now what we've got now is a 4x4 square. So there's 4 rows of 4, which means there is 16 smaller squares. So it's going to be out of 16. If we count how many of the smaller squares are actually shaded, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our final answer is 6 out of 16. Well, that's actually not quite the final answer. We could go a stage further and simplify that fraction. Well, 6 and 16 both divide by 2. So to make an equivalent fraction, a simplified equivalent fraction, divide 6 and 16 both by 2. Well, 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. Either of those two answers are acceptable. They are both equivalent fractions. 6/16 is equivalent to 3/8.